Today's lesson is about nonprofit organizations. So, as you can tell by the name, nonprofit organizations are kind of organizations that are not, the goal is not to try and make a profit. Uh, they still do need money because they still have to pay people. They still have an office, which they have to, have heat in the winter, and they still need to buy staples and binders and whatever they need to do. So money still has to come in from somewhere, but the goal of the thing is not to make money. Usually, the goal is related to their mission, which is related to their very reason for being in existence. And so, what are kind of nonprofits? Well, a lot of times, okay. So some examples. Nonprofits could be, for example, advocacy groups who are advocating for a certain cause, whether it's like animal welfare or welfare of like senior citizens or advocating for people who have some specific disability or health condition. It could be charities who are trying to help the needy or help the animals or help something. It could be what else? It could be union offices or other offices where they exist because they have to do this work that needs to be done, but they don't need to make a profit. They're just need to make enough money to do the work. A lot of daycares and preschools are actually nonprofit organizations. You have organizations like Big Brothers, SPCA, Salvation Army, United Way, all these kind of organizations. They're all nonprofit. Where do they get money from? So sometimes they're funded by government. Sometimes they're funded by donations, private donations, or it could be like donations from church or something like that. Sometimes they're self-funded, so maybe they sell some stuff or sell some services, but they just or for example preschools, like they're charging tuition or something, but it's only enough to cover their costs, and it's not like so much that they're trying to make a profit on top of that. So usually, or fundraising, right? So that's a pretty common way for nonprofits to support themselves. If it's some professional organization, the members might be paying some money every month or something like that. So a variety of kind of funding streams, and I think very often, like they have multiple funding streams going on, so they're funded by both government money and donations or something like that. What kind of work would you do in a nonprofit? Well, it really depends on the nonprofit, right? Organization like Big Brothers, they have an office. They're kind of coordinating these volunteers to do stuff. And so it's mostly like a administrative organization, so mostly office work. Um, Whereas a place like Salvation Army or something, like they have actual stores, and so like they have like retail people who are working there. So it really depends on what kind of work that nonprofit is doing. Will depend on what it looks like to work there. I think one thing that a lot of nonprofits have in common, though, is that a lot of them require fundraising, and so kind of fundraiser is one of the main jobs that you would find in nonprofit. So you're going, requesting donation from people or organizing some events where fundraising is required and stuff like that. I would say that salaries at nonprofit organizations tend to be on the low side, because they don't have that much money, and so they can't pay you that much. And so usually the reason why people are working in nonprofits is that they believe in like the mission of that nonprofit, and they're willing to make some sacrifice in terms of their salaries in order to further the mission. And so if they could maybe make more money if they're working in the corporate world, but they decide not to because they care about helping this specific group of people or whatever it is. Anyways, very valuable work that the people working in these organizations are doing. And, if that's for you, you could definitely consider it. All right, that is it for this lesson. See you in the next one.